That's why he kept saying what he did.
Hi, I'm Delusion Dispeller, here to talk to you more about my ex-husband, Narcissist, that I was married to for 23 long, miserable years. If I tried to confront him, he would lie, change the story, paint himself as a hero, play the victim or the martyr, whatever he had to do other than admit that he did something wrong. He could not take blame or responsibility ever for anything, nor could he ever protect us. He wouldn't fix the lock on the door because he would say, "Oh, you don't need a lock on the door at night. Locks just keep honest men honest. If someone wants to get in, they will." He told me if someone broke in, he would hide under the bed. After he and one of my daughters kicked me out of the house, we lived in shelters and a transitional housing place. During this time, I had to call him to see if he wanted to see our younger daughter, who I had custody of. He didn't call me and say he wanted to see her. When she was with him, generally he would work around his sister's bait shop and ignore my daughter. Or sometimes she would be put to work in the bait shop. All my girls worked at very young ages in this family business. Soon, my daughter didn't even want to see her dad because he didn't spend time with her anyway. By the time I was at my enough point in my marriage, my ex ended up kneeling on a rusty nail during a job he was doing. He almost died. Each day he would get sicker and sicker, and blue stripes started creeping up his thigh till I finally gave him a choice. Look, come with me in the car, take an ambulance, drive yourself, but no matter what, you are going to the hospital. He kept arguing and telling me he'd be fine, he'd just lay down and in the morning he'd be good as new, he'd be better. He finally agreed, okay, you drive me then. You take me. When I got in there, the doctor said it's a dang good thing you have a wife that loves you, because if you would have waited till the next morning, you probably wouldn't have made it here. This stuff was creeping into your vital organs. It was a staph infection, and it would have killed him. While he was in the hospital, I think I was working or maybe I was at home. I don't know. But I would go up and visit him. And every time I would visit, I'd say, "How are you doing? How are you doing, honey?" I was all concerned about him. And all I heard about was, "Oh, there was some really cute nurses that came in. They were just really tickled with me. They're just all enthralled over me. And they think I'm so cute. And they just take such good care of me. They're always checking on me. They're just really hot. There is this one blondie. You should have seen her." I mean, I was like, "Hello, wife standing here. Wife that saved your life." That didn't matter. It was just, oh, all these great nurses, all these hot nurses were looking at him, and that was a big thrill for him. I spent many days and nights crying because I didn't understand why he wouldn't connect with me emotionally, why he wouldn't work on the issues he had and make the changes that would have made our marriage better, even though I kept on doing what I could to make him happy. He just didn't seem to understand what I wanted, and he didn't care that I was unhappy. He was gone most of the day working on other people's houses, and when he came home for dinner, meals ended up with him putting me down, starting some type of fight, or attacking me verbally in some way, and usually getting the children to join in. Toward the end of the marriage, I spent dinner times sitting in my office on the computer, eating alone. I just couldn't handle being harassed every night by him and my teenage daughter. Eventually, I ended up sleeping in my youngest daughter's room because evenings were either a source of argument or weird physical desires of my ex-husband, or just nights of him getting angry because I wouldn't participate in odd things with him. And both of us would just turn over in the bed to our own sides. I'm not sure what type of narcissist my ex was. The counselor who diagnosed him was never really specific about that. She only told me that she knew he was a narcissist based on his lack of eye contact, inability to accept responsibility, and tendency to turn the blame on me for everything. He would change the subject also when confronted. When asked about where certain ideas of his came from that didn't make a lot of sense, he never expressed that he believed something or he thought something. It was always, "I heard it on the radio," or "I read it in a book," or "that's what they say." He never had ideas of his own or opinions or thoughts of his own. He couldn't think for himself. My ex was nobody famous. He wasn't good looking. He had horrid hygiene. He pulled his own teeth out with the pliers. Broke them off, actually. So he still has a tooth up in his gums even to this day. I'm pretty sure that he yanked partially out and left the rest in there. He had terrible hygiene. He didn't often bathe or take showers. His narcissism came in that had pride, and if people didn't like how he smelled or looked, too bad for them. He bragged about how all the girls wanted to date him back in high school and how he was so smart that he knew to sit next to the most intelligent girls in the class so he could learn from them. He always told stories, and still does, that all the girls were just all hot for him and he wanted to date him, but he didn't want to date them because he wasn't into that sort of thing. Stay tuned for more.